Hello. I will be addressing the common conflict today regarding hunting. Now, first off, I would like to state that I'm only speaking from the responsible hunters who choose to take their game legally and respectfully. I personally hunt and have harvested a number of animals throughout the years. I have been hunting now for 12 years and have experienced many different hunting situations and scenarios. Within this presentation, I will only be addressing PETA from my anti-hunting group. Our first argument is what PETA describes as hunting. They say hunting might have been necessary for human survival in prehistoric times, but today most hunters stalk and kill animals merely for the thrill of it, not out of necessity. This unnecessary, violent form of entertainment rips animal families apart and leaves countless animals orphaned or badly injured when hunters miss their targets. Now, this excerpt was taken directly from PETA's website, as all of our examples will be. Now, to say that hunting is unnecessary is completely false. Me and thousands of other hunters use hunting as our main source of getting protein in our diets regularly. Some may say that we could or should go to our local supermarket and buy our meat like everyone else, and while that may be easier, it is not practical in some cases. For example, going to the local store, I could purchase a set of 4 steaks for $10. Now, with that same $10, I can get a box of cartridges that contain 20 bullets, and if I were to make every shot count, then I could sustain myself and my family throughout most of the year, if not the whole year. And to leaving the animals orphaned, I've never seen or heard of anyone taking an animal, leaving its young to fend for itself when it is at an age where parental guide is needed. And a wounded animal, although not wanted, is a realistic thing that happens. And according to a study in Maryland, qualified bow hunters were able to recover 1 deer for every 1.4 shots using modern archery equipment. And these results can be found at marylandqdma.com. Our second argument that PETA provided with us is that quick kills are rare and that many animals suffer prolonged painful deaths when hunters severely injure but fail to kill them. According to the Department of Natural Resources, out of 603 shots fired by hunters, 493 deer were taken. This shows a 81.7% shooting success rate, and approximately 50% of the deer taken ran a mean distance of only 62 yards. PETA also says that contrary to what hunters often say in defense of their cruel pastime, hunting has nothing to do with conservation or population control. In fact, animals are often specially bred and raised for hunters to kill. Well, I'm sure PETA would be shocked to know that hunters are the leading contributors in preserving and replenishing nature's natural resources. Hunters raise an average of $4.7 million a day through special permits and licenses sold to hunters, and also through the efforts of the NRA, NWTF, and NWF. And according to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, hunters have raised $8 billion for conservation and restoration of our natural resources. In many cases, PETA will say that hunters brutally kill and maim animals when any person can go onto the internet and find videos of predators killing prey, and the process is much longer and strung out than the harvesting of animals with modern tactics. On one particular video, a lion attacked a zebra, and it took 127 seconds from the time the lion attached onto the zebra's throat till the time the zebra died. And with a well-placed shot, many hunters, including myself, have been able to see animals fall within 8 to 15 seconds of the animal being hit. Wild animals are much more brutal in the killing of their prey, as they rip out the throats or clamp on, suffocating them in many cases. And in many cases, it can be seen that the predators will actually start consuming their prey before it's completely deceased. And with modern tactics and techniques, today's hunters are much more swift and effective than even the most cunning of predators. Now, most people know of PETA as a loving organization for animals, but a clinic in Virginia says otherwise with these statistics. In 2012, 1,992 animals were received by PETA. Out of those, 34 were transferred to another shelter and 24 were adopted. A staggering 1,911 animals were killed. This means that only 1.21% of PETA's animals were adopted and 95.9% were killed. These results are backed by Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Sciences. It seems to me that hunters aren't the bad guys in this scenario, in this equation per se. I personally take pride in the ability to provide for myself and for my family. While only 6% of Americans hunt, only 3% of Americans are vegetarians, according to VRG.org, which means approximately 97% of Americans eat meat, and with only 6% of those Americans hunting for their own meat, that leaves about 91% of Americans eating meat that they pay some middleman to take care of. And when I say take care of, I am meaning slaughter. It is a part of life that many Americans don't want to see or take part in, but for me, it's natural in the circle of life. All I'm doing by hunting is taking out the middleman by pursuing and harvesting animals myself, which I believe is healthier to myself in the long run. In today's meat products, they are being injected with hormones to try to improve meat quality. While this might result in a larger, more healthier cow, and I use the word healthier as a term given to animals that have never had exposure to sickness due to the high amount of injections they are given, the meat is fattier and of lesser quality than that meat of free-ranging animals, and I base my observations off of Food Inc. And I would rather consume an animal that was worry-free than an animal that has been raised and grown on a farm, which the living conditions vary from farmer to farmer. A huge controversy with hunting is that it puts the animals in great pain. While the animal does feel it, it is not in a large amount of pain. You see, the pain tolerance of animals is a little higher than humans. Nonetheless, they can hurt just as much as we can, but they do have an advantage when it comes to pain. They have a numbing effect of the inhibitory neurons in the endogenous epoids, which basically means their body temporarily numbs the area for up to several minutes. All neurons are blocked and don't send the pain signal to the brain. This is why a clean shot is needed, for the animal will be down and die before the body has a chance to send the pain signal. It is much like adrenaline. For instance, if you're being chased by a lion and you stepped on a thorn, well, in the heat of the moment you wouldn't realize it, but sometime after you'd feel the great intense pain. It's the same concept. That information was obtained from nrvoutdoors.com. Well, if by now I'm not able to convince you that hunting isn't a bunch of trigger-happy maniacs in the woods set on killing, that I don't believe you'll ever change your mind. But if you wouldn't hunt, please don't fight to keep me from doing so.